Hi, we're Richard and Jackie from Early Retirement Wanderlust.
We've had our VW campervan for over 6 years now, and we think it is a contributing factor to our overall mental health and well-being. So in this video, we just want to share with you some of our thoughts on that.
So as Richard said, we've had our VW campervan Nelson for over 6 years, and we were both teachers. At times that was quite a highly stressful job, and we think, looking back, that the campervan is probably what helped us the most with our mental health and well-being during that period.
So we've had the opportunity to just have a sit down and reflect on those times, and also reflect on our early retirement in the campervan and what it brings to that part of our life. So we just want to take you through what we consider are some of the benefits that we've had from owning a campervan in terms of looking after our mental health and well-being.
When we were working as teachers, they were pretty full on, quite stressful days. We would be at work for 7:30 in the morning, we wouldn't get back till 6 at night. That was our choice, we didn't particularly have to bring any work home. But yeah, it was a pretty full on week. And having the van just meant that we could plan our weekends and slow down, just get away.
Yeah, we felt on a Friday night a tangible slowing down of life, and life suddenly got a lot simpler in the campervan. We'd been sort of planning all week for where we were going and what adventures we were going to have, but as soon as we got into the van, it just seemed to get significantly slower, and that's one of the reasons why we went away so much.
And actually just having the van was great, that it meant we could afford to do that most weekends as well. We didn't have to worry about the cost of booking places. We just knew we'd got Nelson the campervan, we could pack him up and get away, have a slower weekend, prepare ourselves ready for the next weekend, and it really worked for us.
And in some respects, that hasn't really changed that much when we're now in our early retirement, in the fact that we still like getting away, and inevitably in early retirement, there's stuff that we've got to do around the house, and there's stuff that we don't particularly like doing, and there's just that element of slowing life down, getting away in the camper van, and just leading a much more stress-free life. One of the things that's helped massively with my well-being is the quality of my sleep when we're in the campervan. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I've always been a terrible sleeper. I was even worse when I was at work. I am getting a little bit better in early retirement, but whenever I'm in the van, I sleep immeasurably better. So the quality of my sleep, the length of my sleep, and I'm waking up refreshed. And I don't know why that works, but it just does.
And that does actually go for both of us. We now live in this lovely little cottage in the Yorkshire Dales, and we do love going back to that cottage, but we both sleep much better in the campervan. Strange. Quite often the places that we go in Nelson the campervan are very remote, in the middle of nowhere, and they don't have phone signal, which is actually great because it does allow us to have that time to have a little bit of a digital detox. I'm not great. If I know there's a bit of signal, I will sit and scroll through things. Rich is pretty good, he's quite disciplined. But when there's no signal, we get our books out, we just sit and chat, we like cooking. But yeah, we make the most of not having any communication with the outside world, even if it is just for half a day or a night.
Not quite sure whether it's a good thing that Jackie has a digital detox, because then she bullies me into games such as Pass the Pig and Backgammon, which everyone knows that I just love playing games. But yeah, it's good to switch off.
I think if you've watched our channel, you will know that both of us love getting out in the outdoors, and I think that's the biggest advantage for us of having the campervan. It gives us that access to be right out there in nature.
And it's a proven fact, and research shows that being out in nature and connecting with nature reduces your stress, reduces anxiety, and just makes you feel much more positive about the world that we're living in.
We love getting out on hikes, so from a health point of view, we're constantly active. If you're in a campervan, you're either just sat inside, which is really boring, or you just get out there, whether it be cycling, hiking, just being out.
And one of the simplest things of being in a camper van, with it being a small space, is you actually get loads of daylight, because as Jackie says, you can't sit in the van all day. So naturally you're out in the daylight, whereas sometimes there's the temptation at home not to get out and about, whereas camper van life, really, you're out there and you're in it. It sounds a little bit twee, but having a camper van really does give us a sense of adventure because 90% of the time we're not really sure where we're going or where we're going to end up or what we're going to find. Naturally, Jackie and I, pretty much like most people, are pretty risk averse. We do like sitting in our comfort zone, and one of the things of just owning Nelson has really pushed us to the edge of that comfort zone, and we've been places where we never thought we'd end up, but we absolutely love it when we're there.
And I love the fact that one week we can be on a Scottish island and enjoying being by the beach and hiking. A couple of weeks later, we might be in the French Alps skiing from the van. There's just so much variety in what we do in the camper van, and the mental stimulation that gives us, and the joy actually that it brings us in the planning and thinking about where we're going to do and what we want to do next.
And as a lifelong planner, sometimes that doesn't fit that well with me, but I know that being on the edge of the comfort zone is actually a really good place to be because it's just really exciting, and you can't plan for everything in life.
Without a shadow of a doubt, when we're away in Nelson, we are more active. I know for a fact that tracing my step count, which I'm quite obsessed with, that we almost double my normal step count from when we're at home, just from the fact that we walk everywhere that we need to go once we've parked the van up.
And it's not necessarily about going on massive hikes. It might be just something as simple as walking to the shops or walking to the pub, but it's the fact that we actually like to leave the camper van in situ and then just do everything on foot or bike. And on that, I know that by having the bikes on the back of the van, I'm way more likely to get out and actually use them than if I'm stuck at home. So yeah, we are more active.
And actually, that's maybe why it's linked to the fact that we say that we sleep so much better when we're in the camper van. If you're more active in the day, you are going to sleep much better.
One of our biggest concerns leading into early retirement was that we would somehow lose touch with people and we would become more isolated and perhaps lonely because it's just us two and our van and our little cottage. But that's not really been the case.
No, when we're on the road, actually, we are probably more sociable. We have taken ourselves out of our comfort zone and we've got quite used to just chatting to random people that we meet on the campsites, and we have met some absolutely fantastic people. Just on this recent ski trip that we went on, we got chatting to a couple of different groups of people and went out skiing with them for the day. We've had some amazing experiences and actually shared some amazing ideas and got great ideas of places to go from people that we've met on the road.
And for us, one of the big differences of going away in a camper van as opposed to just travelling is that a campsite is a natural environment for meeting people. So we've had no end of conversations while we're doing the washing up or waiting for the showers, and those are really nice connections that we are managing to keep up when we move off.
We definitely find that's even easier in the summer when the van doors are open and you're all sat outside cooking and barbecuing and having a drink or two. We've had some great conversations.
And for me, being a little bit nerdy, it's lovely that there are so many other people out there that share our passion for travel and campervan life. So there is always something to talk about. So even if you are meeting what you would consider to be strangers, you've actually got a shared interest, and that makes life so much easier to meet new people.
Something that we both still can't get our head around, even after over 6 years of travelling around in the campervan, is that we never lose that sense of awe and wonder of some of the places that we go to. We have woken up in some of the most beautiful, stunning locations, whether it be white sandy beaches on the Scottish islands, whether we wake up with the mountains that we'd arrived in the dark and we're like, wow, where have we woken up? There are just so many occasions, even now, where we just can't believe what it is that we're doing.
And I think the campervan really helps in sort of grounding us and making us more mindful and actually just living in the moment, because quite often when in everyday life we can be worrying about things that have happened in the past, or we can be worrying about what's coming up, but actually that sense of awe and wonder of being in the moment is just priceless and is just a really good thing for our mental health. One of the things we found when we were working that really helped us through the working week was just the sense of anticipation and excitement and going through the planning process of getting away pretty much most weekends.
Yeah, we would start on a Wednesday thinking, right, the weather forecast is going to be really nice this weekend. Where do we want to go? Do we want to be out by the beach? Do we want to be out in the Dales? Do we want to be in the mountains? But that anticipation and thinking about what we're going to do was something that gave us a little bit of excitement each week.
And it's absolutely proven in psychology that it's really good for our mental health to look forward to things and have things planned for the future. So even in early retirement, where, to be honest, we have considerably less plans, we still have mapped out our year and we are still looking forward to all of those adventures we've got planned. And that sense of anticipation really does just invigorate you in life and really help to look after your mental health and well-being.
There is a slight little issue with that. We loved the anticipation of what we were going to do each weekend so much that we decided to make it a lifelong journey now and retired.
I think that's a really good thing because it helped us to realise what was really important for us. And until we got our camper van, we didn't even realise that world was out there. So yeah, everything happens for a reason, and yeah, we're loving what we're doing at the moment.
Linking back to one of our previous videos that we did on minimalism in our early retirement, we were houseless, not homeless, for 14 weeks when we sold our house in Cheshire, and actually realised living in this van with very minimal possessions was actually really easy. And it made us think about the fact that less is more. It's Richard's favourite mantra, but it's true.
Yeah, and the less stuff that we have in our lives just gives us more opportunity to have experiences and more time to do the things that we really want. So we figured that if we can live out of a camper van for 14 weeks without actually missing any of our possessions, you know, everything that we had, we carried with us, it just really simplifies our life. And even now, when we've got our little cottage in the Dales that, again, has been really minimalised, it's actually quite refreshing to get out in the van.
And some people have asked us, how do you manage in this tiny little van when you go away for 6 weeks at a time? And the answer is, it's really simple. We take very few clothes with us, we pack a bit of food with us, a few bottles of wine, and that's us. We don't need a lot. I'm just going to let Richard talk about the next thing.
One of the things that I've been reading up on quite recently is to do with primal evolution and the fact that as humans we have evolved over hundreds of thousands of years, and yet some of our basic needs remain the same as our ancestors. So a prime example of that is campfires. We love, as human beings, somewhere deep down in our genetic evolution, the fact that we get together and we sit around a campfire. The quality of the light helps our mental health, the fact that it's soft light, the fact that we've just got that bonding experience sitting around the campfire. That's just one example. Another example is that when we're in the camper van, when it goes dark, we tend to go to sleep, and when it's light, we tend to wake up. And that doesn't always happen when you're in the home because you've got the benefits of all the luxuries of living in a house. So I think that camper vanning in some way fulfills that primal evolutionary need.
I do think the fact that we went to sleep at 7:30 last weekend, we were in the Lake District, was maybe a little extreme, and the 14 hours sleep maybe wasn't needed, but I did feel a lot better after it.
So that's it. Obviously, we know that there are more things that contribute to our mental health and well-being than simply owning a camper van.
But these are just some of the things that we've actually noticed from our experience, and we know for a fact that they have made a huge difference to the quality of our lives, particularly when we were working.
So we hope you found some of our thoughts of use, and we will catch you next time. See you later.
Bye.